What's up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Kate, and today we're going to be talking about Palantir. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you to the 18 people that subscribed to me so far. I just started my channel 3 weeks ago, and I appreciate and am excited about each and every one of you that joins me on this journey. Thank you for looking past the fact that I'm obviously very new at this. I don't know how to edit videos. This is just me coming in here, talking, reacting to things. Eventually, I'll get into other content, but I appreciate you being here now. So without further ado, let's get into this Palantir bullshit. And I apologize to ruin your week on a Monday like this, but this is an important video. So here we go.
It's taboo to do that, but to criticize an employer that also owns extremely lethal technologies and surveillance technologies that are highly invasive and used in war zones is something else entirely.
It's 2025. We're all kind of used to government surveillance. The idea that
Are we? I don't know. I'm not used to being watched all the time. In fact, when I see those AI cameras, I literally give them the middle finger every single time. There has got to be thousands of photographs of me giving both my middle fingers to those cameras because I want them to know that I see them watching me and I'm not okay with it.
all being watched all the time and don't own our own personal data has become normalized. We're also used to the military spending vast amounts of our money on just a few giant defense contractors. But one tech company wants to change both of those things
and become the ultimate military contractor.
I don't want to live in a world where this type of drone situation happens and they use that for warfare and they use that instead of police.
And the ultimate arbiter of all of our data.
Palantir is here.
What is with the hair? This guy's a billionaire and he walks around with that hair on his head. Wow.
Here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Did you hear what he just said?
Check out Palantir shares surging 22% after the company cited a boom in demand for its AI software from the U.S. government.
We're doing it.
This looks like a Dr. Evil scene from Austin Powers. Am I right? Look at them all with their evil smirk on their face and that soulless look in their eyes. They know that they're doing some shit, that they're scheming to take over the world right now, and they're getting away with it. That's why they're smiling. I don't like it one bit.
We're doing it, and I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
He's a smug bastard, isn't he? I do not like him one bit. You, Alex Karp, I don't like you at all. You're an evil man. Just based off the fact that you walk around with that hairstyle, something's wrong with your brain. You got some screws loose.
Palantir, a tech company based here in Denver, claims they can revolutionize government systems with their data analysis software, newly powered by artificial intelligence.
They've been hired by the Department of Defense, the FBI, local police departments, and even the IRS and Wendy's.
Wendy's? That's kind of random, isn't it? I mean, all these other government agencies and then Wendy's. I mean, that really makes you wonder. Why?
To take in the information those organizations collect even more information, and use that data to draw conclusions.
It can be used to completely reconfigure organizations' ontology, its reality, what systems matter, what information matters, what processes matter, how they are structured, what biases are introduced at each of those stages.
We talked to a former Palantir employee, dug into decades of research, and listened to hours of Alex Karp's own words to unwrap the layers of Palantir's carefully cultivated sales pitch, how they capitalize on fear, uncertainty, and unrest.
Sounds like somebody else I know.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination.
Yeah, he just said that. And we're giving him a lot of our tax dollars. Isn't that nice? Aren't you comfortable with that?
This is a company built for bad times. Bad times mean strong finances internally.
Basically, it's a company built to profit off of the pain and suffering of other people going through bad times. Okay, that's what I heard.
Times are very good for Palantir because we build products that are robust, that are built for danger.
Let's rewind a little.
Palantir's story starts with one of the most effective things a company can have for sales: fear.
After the September 11th attacks, the United States government began expanding surveillance both at home and abroad.
I bet you Alex Karp is good friends with the gentleman that caused 9/11. I almost guarantee it, actually.
This was, of course, a boon for the defense industry at large. Simultaneously, the Silicon Valley tech industry was growing fast and making people in a once obscure industry very, very rich, very, very quickly. Like the founders and executives at PayPal, known as the PayPal Mafia. Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman, the LinkedIn guy, and Peter Thiel. When PayPal was sold,
How many kids do you think these men had to sacrifice to get to where they are? Probably a lot. A lot.
Thiel had millions of dollars burning a hole in his pocket and an idea. PayPal had developed systems for detecting fraud and crimes on the platform. What if they could use similar thinking to analyze the world at large? So Thiel pulled from his network to build out a new company. One of the first hires was Thiel's Stanford.
Alex Karp really has gone his whole life with this terrible haircut, and not a single one of his friends said to him, hey buddy, you might want to just shave your head or something, put a hat on, I don't know, like do something, because it's not working. It's not helping your case. You look like an evil villain. Nobody said that to him, apparently.
Law school roommate Alex Karp, who'd gone on after Stanford to get a PhD in not business or computer science or engineering, but neoclassical social theory. They named the company Palantir, after the Palantiri from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
In Lord of the Rings, the Palantir Stone is a magical object that allows its users to predict the future or to see what's going on in a remote location.
That's kind of scary that they named it after that. Like, genuinely.
Originally created by the elves. It was meant to be used for good purpose.
He looks creepy too, doesn't he? It's in the eyes, okay? If you've been around sociopaths and psychopaths as often as I have, for some reason, they seem to really like me in my life. I don't know why, but I can see it in the eyes now. I can look at someone and you just know they're not like you. They're not like regular people. They don't feel empathy. They don't feel for other people at all. They're out for their own personal agenda and their own advances, and that's it. You can just see it on their face.
It is potentially a very dangerous technology. It's very powerful.
Long have you hunted me?
So that's Middle Earth. But what does Palantir do in a regular Earth?
What we do is we use what legal scholars call predicate-based search. So we would look at you, and then we would go out and say, oh, there's lots of different things in your life that may be indicative of someone involved in bad behavior.
Did you guys hear what he just said? I heard we gather a bunch of data on you and we look at everything in your life and determine if you're against us or not, and if you're engaged in bad thoughts that we don't like. So we can send a drone after you. That's what I heard.
Put simpler, they make software that makes it easier for their customers to collect and analyze data, and then act on that analysis with and without AI. By 2013, 10 years after their founding, Palantir's client list included the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Marines, the Air Force, Special Operations.
I always knew that all these organizations were corrupt. I've known for the last few years since I woke up to everything. But this is just a nice little visual for you. You can see we've been conquered, apparently.
Command and more.
Did your company help to track and kill Osama bin Laden?
Look how he's hesitating. He doesn't want to give you the outright answer because he knows it's going to implicate him.
You know, we can never. I'll tell you, the closest thing to an answer is when you look at when you open the paper and
in other words, yes, we were involved. They used our technology to do it. Yes, is what he's not allowed to say that. I'll say it for him. That's what he's trying to say without saying it.
look in the news about these kind of things, there's a 2/3 chance, depending on the country involved, that somehow my company was involved.
Fundamentally, the mission that is pushed to employees is that we're solving the world's hardest problems and supporting Western institutions. That is the main driver of sort of this militaristic culture that is developed inside of Palantir.
If you do not feel comfortable supporting the legitimate efforts of America and its allies in the context of war, don't join Palantir.
So, in other words, if we don't support genocide going on in Gaza, don't support Palantir because they're using it to commit that genocide. And make no mistake, that man, Alex Karp, let me get him on the screen for a second. That man, he does not care about America at all. He is not America first. He's not America at all, actually. He's got his own agenda going on, and it's nothing to do with your freedom, your safety, none of that. No.
Don't join Palantir.
This entire message of like, we are the most lethal, we are the most able to surveil and process large amounts of data.
You have created the system which you call kill chain.
Privately.
Well, you just did publicly. That's what it's called.
Publicly, the lawyers have some innocuous.
I bet you got a lot of lawyers, don't you, Alex Karp? You better keep those lawyers, because
So something like tech for the amelioration of unwanted blah blah blah. Some term we're supposed to use.
Okay, let's.
For me, it's the kill chain.
Kill chain sounds good.
Kill chain isn't an original term created by Palantir. It's the more general military verbiage for the series of decisions leading from identifying a target to taking their life. Palantir's contract added their software and artificial intelligence to the kill chain.
It's quicker and better and safer and more violent.
this guy's like a serious villain, a real life comic book villain. And I have to say, I'm disappointed that there are no superheroes to, deal with them. I'm disappointed that I live in a world of supervillains and there are no heroes, apparently.
It's tech that Juan helped market.
It reduces the distance you have to the problem, but when you're able to take a step back and really see all the narratives and how they were shaped and the actual application of these technologies, your whole world starts falling apart, which is something that, definitely happened to me.
Juan didn't leave Palantir entirely for ethical reasons. He just got another job. But the reason he eventually started speaking out against Palantir came after watching the Israeli invasion of Gaza following the October 7th attacks.
The genocide in Gaza? That's what it is. Let's call it what it is.
Palantir has contracts with the Israeli Defense Forces.
Look at these four. First of all, here we have a Masonic hand gesture here. I don't know about the hands in the pockets, but that for sure. Look at how evil they look. They know how evil they are. They know. Make no mistake. These are your enemies, people. Not your neighbor. Not the people that look different than you because of their skin color or whatever. These people are the American enemies. And let's add George Soros, the Obamas, the Clintons, but Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci, Klaus Schwab, everybody on the World Economic Forum, Tedros over at all of them. They're all enemies. I just want to make that clear.
The exact nature of the contracts is opaque, intentionally, but there is evidence to suggest that Palantir's artificial intelligence tech was used for selecting targets in Gaza.
So they used it to select the children in Gaza that they blew off the face of the earth with their drones. Isn't that nice?
Karp doesn't mind the controversy. In fact, it's part of the marketing.
Palantir will even pick up the projects that other companies rejected for political reasons.
We are very comfortable being unpopular.
Karp doesn't think...
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, because that tells me that you don't give a shit when anybody... You're just going to do what you're going to do, regardless of how many people protest against you and tell you no. You're just going to take control like that. Huh.
Controversy will lose Palantir customers.
Whatever is pissing them off, they're still buying the product.
Wendy's hired Palantir to help with their supply chain. Palantir works with health insurance companies to build AI for denials management.
That explains a lot, doesn't it? Wow. Wow.
Protect revenue.
Do you want Palantir's AI making decisions about what care is covered for you and your loved ones?
They also do business
No, I don't.
with for-profit hospitals, major investment banks, and even other defense contractors. In 2024, Palantir brought in nearly $2.9 billion in revenue, 55% of which came from government sources, with the vast majority being American.
Shame on you, American government. Shame on you. I guarantee you our founding forefathers are rolling over in their graves at this.
So let's look at their pitch to the American government. Last year, Palantir CTO Sham Sankar put out a presentation and white paper called The Defense Reformation. He cites The Last Supper, which was a secretive 1993 meeting between defense industry executives and the Deputy Secretary of Defense. Over a dozen companies walked in, and only a few walked out. That dinner is often cited.
Wow. That's where so many companies were sold off, and now they're just big conglomerates.
As the origin of our consolidated military industrial complex.
And to me, I think this was the definitive moment that kicked off the financialization of defense. From that point forward, it became all about buybacks and dividends.
He saw money signs is what he saw.
And leverage ratios.
Criticizing the financialization of the defense industry, calling out stock buybacks, that doesn't sound like a defense executive. That sounds more like the exact argument about the defense industry that we have made before.
I think what's interesting to me about Palantir is how they co-opt the language of revolution.
But Sankar's argument did work on somebody, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, and you can see they're being told. You can tell by the way that Alex Karp censors himself when he talks that he's had a lot of press consultations with people who have told him what to say and what not to say and what words to use and what words not to use. They have to dress it up in this pretty language to get you to accept it, just like they did during VID, and they got us all to accept that bullshit, just like they do with everything. It's language, and they keep the average person dumbed down just enough that they don't understand fully what's happening. They don't understand that these people are twisting language and using it against us. Instead, you just kind of passively allow it to happen. That's how we've gotten to where we are.
The Defense Innovation Board, an advisory group within the Department of Defense, cited Sankar's presentation multiple times in their 2024 report on why the DoD needs to divert more of their budget to emerging technology. That's giving money to Palantir. There's a reason Palantir just replaced Ford Motors in the S&P 100 in the months after Trump was elected. The Trump administration is an ideal customer for what Palantir is selling. First, there are many former Palantir employees sprinkled across the Trump administration.
Interesting.
From inside Doge to foreign policy advisors to high-level technology appointees. And Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel, heavily invested in the company, is also heavily invested in President Trump and Vice President Vance. He was a major campaign donor to both. Then the stated goal of Doge is to streamline and combine government data, which is exactly what Palantir does.
See how they use it to streamline and compact everything and make it into like cute little package so that we can further easily identify you and kill you. Just a cute little package, though. A nice little technology that we're releasing to you. It's totally harmless, guys.
The ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other.
And obviously, Karp is loving it.
This guy's having way too much fun for my liking.
In the end of the day, exposes things that aren't working. There'll be ups and downs. There's a revolution. Some people can get their heads cut off. It's like we're expecting to see really unexpected things and to win.
And what is winning, according to Palantir? This is CTO Sham Sankar in 2021.
Turning to government, we continue to advance our mission of becoming the U.S. government's central operating system as we extend our footprint across defense, healthcare, and civilian agencies.
The government's
as we extend our tentacles all across everything and take over everything with our parasitic existence, is what he's saying.
Operating system. They want everything to funnel through Palantir. Palantir already has contracts with the IRS, going through taxpayer data to...
Oh, we're just so FUCK'd in this country, bro. They're using this for the IRS. And it's to go after citizens, right? So that means that everybody who's not a citizen, they're good. Nobody has to worry about their tax. It's to be used against us, guys. That's what this is. This is to come after. This is the final boot on your neck. This is them putting the boot down your throat as an American citizen with your taxes and everything. I mean, wow. We need another Boston Tea Party. We need more than that. I mean, we need a full-on revolution in this country to stop this. This is crazy.
Save auditors time by finding the easiest audits to pursue. Now, Wired reports, DOGE will likely hire Palantir to create unified software for the entire IRS, a mega API that would allow anyone with access to view and possibly alter all IRS data in one place. That's all of your financial information. And they have multiple contracts with the Department of Health and Human Services, including nearly $100 million to support HHS's core administrative data and applications, to manage, ingest, and access data securely across business domains. HHS's core responsibility is Medicare and Medicaid.
That explains a lot. I feel very sad for people on Medicare and Medicaid in this country. I can't imagine what's happening in our healthcare system, like that we don't even know about. You know, we just learned about the whole organ donation thing and how that is completely FUCK'd. I can't imagine how deep it goes and how bad things are in our healthcare system. Like, I mean, we're not helping people at all at this point, as far as I'm concerned. There's no healthcare going on anymore at this point.
That's control over millions of Americans' health records and their access to healthcare. So what does it mean for one contractor to have all that power, data, and taxpayer money as profit, especially as AI gets involved?
As we kind of increasingly live in a simulated world, we lose touch with reality and the human decisions that matter. And
does anybody really want to live in a simulated world? Like, I don't know. This is nice and all, making videos. It's fun. I like having a computer, whatever, but I don't need any of it. Like, I would rather have no technology whatsoever and just go back to the way things used to be. I'm straight up serious. I would rather have to build a fire every night to keep my house warm. I would rather not have any of it, because if you're just going to use it against me and force me to pay all this money and be a literal slave just to exist, I don't want any of it. I don't need your fancy vacations. I don't need any of your crap, your modern conveniences. You can take it all away. I don't need any of it. I just personally, this is all becoming way too inhuman for me. It's way too far removed from the way we were created to live. I know that I was created with love and with purpose, and this was not it.
we move closer towards governance by algorithm, not only made by decisions of automated artificial intelligence systems, which is a problem, but more importantly, subject to decisions made by the people who are influencing these AI systems and creating them in order to fulfill an agenda for whatever their profit-seeking or control-seeking objectives are.
That's really scary. So they're already telling us that they're going to use it. They're saying now that it's to catch the illegal immigrants, right? We know that that's not the end game. They're going to use this against us, the American tax-paying citizens. It's going to be used against us 110% if it's not being used already.
And when I see DOGE kind of going into every agency and addressing the IT department first, I see it as an opportunity to try to change reality itself.
But so what? Why am I telling you all of this? Palantir has no problem being seen as Big Brother, as all-powerful, as lethal even.
We're at the brink of using these technologies potentially to run our government, to run our battlefields and our personal lives.
I don't want to live in that world. That sounds like a dystopian technocracy that I don't think anybody even understands the level of control that this would give these people over your life and your existence.
Using artificial intelligence as a sort of panacea solution across our federal departments, and especially when they're, again, wielded by people with a very distinct agenda, puts everyone at risk.
Yeah, I'd say we're at serious risk.
It almost feels like that's been the plan all along. Here's co-founder Peter Thiel.
It does, doesn't it?
In 2010 at Libertopia, a libertarian conference, speaking about tech companies and government.
The basic idea was that we could never win an election on getting certain things because we were in such a small minority. But
because your plan to take over the world and control absolutely everyone and everything is extremely unpopular.
Maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through technological means.
So in other words, force people is what you're going to do. You're going to force everyone to agree with you.
This is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
And here's Alex Karp in 2009.
The elites, that's what they're all just plotting better ways to take over your life. And they seem to all be in this battle with each other to see who can do it quicker and who can do it better and who's going to be the one to like take full control over everything. And this Palantir shit, I mean, this is pretty damn close to full control over everything.
On civil liberties with regards to Palantir's work.
The central question, in my view, of civil liberties is how, it's not if the government has data, because let's assume the government has as much data as a health insurance company. It's how is that data being used? Is it being used in a way that's lawful? Meaning, do they have the right to use it? And is it being migrated into places it's not allowed to be used? We allow the enforcement of rules that government ought to enforce. And by the way, my experience is they want to enforce, or at the very least know they need to enforce. And if it's framed in that way, then you can have what is the ultimate Silicon Valley solution.
One co-founder openly wants to use the power of the tech industry to affect politics. The other wants his company to have oversight over how the government data they're paid to handle is used. And the founders of Palantir will retain control in the company no matter what, through an obscure ownership structure. Their Class F shares grant them 49.99% of voting power, even if they collectively own as little as 6% of the company.
At the start of this journey, I was extremely afraid for the repercussions of this writing, of speaking out, but now I'm like, even more convinced that this is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I've gotten to that place myself. I'm way more afraid of what'll happen if I shut up. If I stop talking, if I stop trying to have these discussions, if I just quietly go back to my job and just work the rest of my life, I'm way more scared of the world I'm going to end up living in by choosing to do that than by choosing to use my voice and at least try to talk and to say, hey, I don't give consent. This is one person here on the internet. I don't give consent to any of this. I don't want this. I very much oppose this on every single level. I will say, I think this is footage from the No Kings protester. I don't really know. I find it so disappointing that nobody was out protesting when they were forcibly telling us that we weren't allowed to go to work, forcing us to stay in our homes, telling us to put dirty rags all over our face, not letting us breathe oxygen freely, forcing us to get an experimental mRNA injection. Nobody was protesting then. I don't know. Maybe if we had done that, we wouldn't be here today. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
We can't replace our current broken system with an even more broken one. And we can't let the worst people in Silicon Valley become our government.
It's not about whether you're actually at risk for speaking out or not. It's just the idea that somebody's watching you is enough to push people into silence.
Mm-hmm. I think it definitely is. I always have that thought. I will not lie. When I'm like scrolling on social media as you do, and I go to comment something, I have a thought in my head when I'm typing it out. Do you really want to leave that comment? Because they're using it. They're going to use it against you. Like they're really going to gather all this data against you and put you in this spot. Like that's what's happening. They're boxing up all the people that they know are never going to give consent to this and never going to be okay with it. I don't know what they're going to do with all of us. I'm not saying anything, crazy here. But obviously, they're trying to figure out who's going to be accepting and who's not. And that's a big purpose of these algorithms, is to find the bad apples, quote unquote.
If you don't do your job, we will hold you accountable.
I don't see anybody with Klaus Schwab on their sign, or Anthony Fauci, or Tedros. I don't see anybody protesting those people who are also trying. Like, I don't know. I understand. It's too political still in this country. People are still way too focused on politics to understand that it is the elite people that are doing this to us. It's not left versus right. It's not your neighbor versus you. It's them versus us. It's rich versus poor, rich and peasants, just the way it's always been. They've just convinced us somehow. They brainwashed us our whole lives into thinking that things were different and things were better. And they're not. They're actually just as bad as they've always been. Honestly. People, I mean, you look left and right these days, and people are suffering on both sides. And they're just fighting with each other, and everybody's at each other's throats. You know, Trump this, Trump that, Biden this, Biden that, Kamala this, Kamala, like, and everyone's fighting about the wrong shit. We should be focused on the people here at Palantir. That's all I'm saying. All right. I'm going to end the video right here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Hopefully, it won't be as scary as this Palantir stuff, because I don't know about you, but this stuff freaks me out. I don't like the idea that we're going to actually live through Black Mirror, and it looks like that's where things are going, and it makes me very uncomfortable. So I hope you guys share the same thoughts. If not, you know, I respect your thoughts too. Either way, have a great rest of your day, guys. Thanks. Bye.